The key thing is the following: unless you were entertain at least one of two scientific fantasies for which there is absolutely no empirical evidence and which are, in the face of it, drastically implausible, meaning superdeterminism or Everettian multi-worlds. I'm not going to get into why they are so implausible, and there is no evidence for them. So unless you arbitrarily entertain one of these two scientific fantasies, the experiments then must be interpreted as telling you that physical realism is not true, that there are no physical properties or entities, because entities are defined in terms of their properties. There are no physical entities before a measurement. A measurement creates a physical entity, which of course raises the question: what is it that you measured? If you think only physical entities exist and they are created by a measurement, now God help you. You cannot make sense of it. What is it that measures then? If physical entities are created by measurement and only physical entities exist, how do you escape this? Only a physical entity could have made the measurement that would have created the first physical entity. Now, and then you go to Nagarjuna like Rovelli did. And you become mystical, like a professor at Harvard Divinity School that had an online engagement with me the other day. You 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 start really abstracting your way into a web of conceptual knots, and you get stuck into that recursion, and then you're off to the races. Nobody will ever see you again. You go to La La Land. um, the alternative is obvious. What you measure is not physical. Physical entities are measurement representations, like dashboard representations. Before an airplane sensors make a measurement, the dashboard shows nothing. If the sensors measure the sky, now the dashboard shows something. Physicality is what appears on the dashboard. If you don't measure, nothing appears. Duh, right?
Yeah.
What is the big deal?
Yeah.
You just have to keep in mind that what you're measuring is not physical. So you have to accept that physicality is not all there is. Physicality are measurement representations. And of course, these representations only exist if you make a measurement, because only then there is something to represent. But the thing that is measured does not magically come into existence because of your divine act of measurement. That is woo woo, right? That is fantasy. So obviously, there had to be something there that you measured. Something had to be measured for there to be a measurement. It's just not physical. Oh, what can be not physical? Well, a mental state. What is the length in centimeters of your thought? What is the weight in kilograms of your emotion? No, your thoughts and your emotions are not describable through physical quantities, and in that sense, they are not physical. These states are what are out there. When you measure them, you get a dashboard representation of that measurement, and that's what we call physicality. There is no mind bending exercise of theoretical imagination necessary to account for this. You don't need to go to Nagarjuna. You don't need to go to the third century Buddhism. It's it's a normal rationality. It's even Aristotelian logic. I'm personally an intuitionist. I'm not fully Aristotelian, but even if I were an Aristotelian, I would say the vanilla Aristotelian logic. There's no woo here. But the physics is now so tempted into going into woo for all kinds of reasons. Empirically inaccessible multiverses in which there are copies of you that have taken all the other decisions that you haven't taken in your life. No, it it's becoming science fiction, um, and our values are changing in such a way that we value science fiction above reason. Physicists are being rewarded for their fictionalizing stories because that's what leads to the whoa factor. You see?
Gosh.
That's why Brian Cox is so popular
I remember
on the
we said
BBC.
this. We said this last time. I remember asking you about it. Yeah, yeah.
He explains nothing. He just makes you go, "Whoa, this guy must be very smart."